Okay. All right, what's going on, guys? It's Hollywood Jay Taylor right here, and I am in the building with Mr. Juan Washington and Charlotte. Good afternoon. How are you all?
Good afternoon.
Doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I definitely appreciate you all coming in today and, of course, just talking with me. I'm hearing a lot of great things about what you're doing. Center of Ministry, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So, Luan, tell me a little bit about how it got started. How'd you come up with that?
How it got started is basically, I've been a minister for about 20 years.
Okay.
And I had a calling for about in 2010 to actually start this ministry.
Right.
But of course, I kind of fought it for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And I finally accepted and said, yes, okay, we're going to go ahead and do this last year. And kind of like, this is where we are now. We're here
Gotcha.
now.
Now, within the last year, what kind of pushed you towards that and saying, all right, it's time. Let's go ahead forward with that?
Well, basically just seeing the needs that are in the community, some things that are not being taken care of, seeing a lot of people in the middle class industry going over the same challenges
Right.
all the time, and we want to see if we could do something to actually help and assist with those challenges.
Got you. Now, versus, I guess, your traditional style of handling those situations, what would you say your way is compared to that?
Okay. My way is going to be through community forums that we'll do. I think we always, our slogan is better together,
Right.
but I think we do things better. All of us have pieces to the puzzle,
Right.
but I think if we bring all those pieces together, we'll be a lot more effective
Right.
in using those resources and pooling those resources.
Right. Which is true a lot all the time. With anything I think that you do, I mean, if you have a piece of the puzzle, you have a piece, I have a piece, it only makes sense to just put them together and complete the puzzle, as I always say. So that's definitely good. Also, now, with the beginning of the Center of Ministry and the process, do you have like an initial start date of when you want to kick everything off, or?
Yes. Everything will launch on June the 1st of this year.
Okay, June the 1st. Now, when you first kick it off, tell me a little bit about how that will start. Like, what do you plan on to do to kick that off?
What we plan on doing is we will be virtual. Everything will be on the website.
Gotcha.
All of the resources, any inspirational messages, our community outreach programs, all of that will be through the website, our social media, and our app.
Okay. Now, it's funny you mentioned that with the app. Now, the importance of the application, I would say, is just to stay interactive. So, with the younger generation, my generation, I would say that with the application, tell me a little bit about how that will operate. What if I go to the app? Like, what can I find there?
You'll be able to find resources, whether they're educational resources, financial resources, things on relationships, civic responsibility. You'll be able to find
need the
all that
relationship
kind of
guide. I need that. I need that. I'm not having too much looking at the department at all. So now with the Center of Ministry, I would like to know, now we touched on this, I know you've been 20 years, and like I said, within the past year, you just kind of had, let's go full forward with everything, with pushing this. Now, the background within the past 20 years, what are the things that you've been seeing to make you really say, I need to do this?
Well, when it comes to ministries or whatever, I've seen a lot of people that may be a part of a ministry, but their lives really weren't changing. So we wanted to put spiritual, social, and economic resources, plug that in to whereas even if it's after, whether it was Sunday or any other day,
Right.
you would have resources that actually catapult you to the next level of your lives or help you.
Right. So now with that being said, now church is just normally on Sundays. Go to church on Sunday and that's it. What about the rest of the 6 days? You know? So your style, I guess, would be to keep you more active 7 days a week, would you say?
Yes, not only to keep you more active. Our Center of Ministry is all about you.
Okay.
In that you need help with whether it's finances, education, how do we do this?
Right.
How do we do that? It seems like, at least this has been my experience, whenever I encountered a challenge, whether it was raising my kids, starting my business or whatever, I felt like I had to start from ground zero.
Right.
Nobody had the answers for me.
Right.
So what we'll be doing is giving you a place you can go to where you don't have to start from ground zero. We'll give you some best practices so that you don't have to go through the same 4 or 5 years to get to where I am now.
You can
So
kind of
that's our
almost
goal.
skip the trial and error. Almost.
Absolutely.
Because I think a lot of that is what most are trying to do, is just figure out as they go through whatever it is they're going through.
Right.
Whether it is financial or whether it is relationship, I think a lot of people just are going through it, trying to figure it out. But if you can provide, I guess, a way to, a guide almost, as to some best practices, some ways to help, that definitely is a great goal. Now, did you come up with that, like your ideal of how to approach? Like, how did that come about? Did you just see like that there was a need for that specifically, and is it a different method?
It was well. It's basically goes from a calling that I felt that I had, but that came from my true need to really want to help people and to give them a little bit more than an emotional experience when it comes to the ministry or whatever.
Right.
Because after you said something about Sunday. After Sunday, you start Monday, you still have bills, you still have kids, you still have all these things you have to deal with, and they slap you right in your face. So how do you deal with those challenges, and where do you go?
Right.
I believe that God is the source for everything, but God expands a little bit more than just a ministry or whatever, and that ministry should be inclusive of the resources you need for day-to-day living.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so I am calm. Am I saying it right? Is it I am calm? I am calm. So tell me a little bit about how that is incorporated into the Center of Ministry.
I believe my wife does that very, very well.
Okay.
So I'm going to answer that part there, because this is something that she's really, truly passionate about.
Right.
And it's going to be great for our ministry.
Okay.
Yes, hashtag CALM is more of a movement.
Okay.
CALM being the center of ministry. It's basically it's all about the awakening of yourself, realizing that you are the center of ministry.
Right.
We're here. We're all here with purpose, and the things that we do every day, day in and day out, I think a lot of people take it for granted. That I'm just a counselor, or I'm just this or that. Instead of taking their occupations and the things that they do every day, and realizing that this is ministry.
Right. You
are the center of ministry. And when you awaken yourself to the fact that what you're doing every day, how you live your life every day, whether it's an athlete, we've got basketball players and football players that kids look up to.
Every day.
You're a minister.
Right.
Don't just put it on the preacher. It's about you too.
I got you.
It's about you
got
too. And it doesn't matter like what sector it is. It's not a worldly and a church.
Right.
God is everything.
Everything.
And everything that you do is about Him. And everything that He does is about you.
Right. So
when you realize that you are the center of ministry, then it pulls that intrinsic excellence out of you to do what you do and do it well.
Right.
Do what you do and be mindful of who you're doing it for.
Right.
Be mindful of what you're here for. You're not here for just you.
Right.
We all here for each other.
Absolutely.
But we like to think, when it's about me and what I want to do and how I feel. But it's not all. It isn't all about you, and then it's not all about you. All at the same.
It's
all at the same time.
Oh my God.
So hashtag I am calm is about you.
Okay.
I am the center of ministry.
Okay.
And that's the movement. And then like LaJuan was saying about the actual ministry itself being the virtual ministry, with pulling resources from the community.
Right.
If you need a counselor, having that resource somewhere, just one place you can go. You don't have to search everywhere. It's
Google.
one place.
Somebody you don't even know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Somebody that is about ministry and they
Right.
really care about you. You have a place to go to say, hey, this is a resource for me. This is something that can help me get through what it is I'm trying to get through. So basically that's what the
Okay.
all comes.
All right. Well, now I'm glad you touched on that. Now, how does that play into our younger generation, our youth?
Oh my God.
Because I feel that a little bit of that is I'm all about me. And I don't think that a lot of them as a mass understand the bigger picture as to what they're doing or how to look, as in what their actions are doing, what the consequences. I don't think they're seeing that as a whole. So how does I Am Calm, I guess, appeal to that younger generation and their way of thinking?
Yes, I Am Calm is actually for the younger generation. because as we evolve, ministry should evolve as well. So all of the
Amen.
The traditional practices that we're used to, like going to church. Don't get me wrong, church is foundational. You need it. You got to go there, but it's foundational.
Right.
And it's like the youth today. We are so engrafted with all this technology, and and then trying to make it. I want to do better than my parents did.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to do that in the society and the economy that we're living in. So,
True.
a lot of them feel hopeless, but it's not a hopeless situation. It's about forgetting who you are, forgetting where you came from.
Right.
And center of ministry, I know the main focus is about your relationship with God. You got to do that first.
Right.
You got to have that communication with God. You're just not going to make it without.
Now with the communication with God, I like that because like you said, on Sundays, it feels like we only communicate with God on Sundays. So now with what we're creating here, that communication piece is easily accessible anytime.
Exactly, and that's the hashtag I am calm, is that awakening about that relationship with God, that you are the center of ministry, that ministry is not about church on Sunday going and listen to what the pastor said because he's the pastor and I'm not. I am calm is I am. I am calm. I am the center of ministry. And ministry is, it's flowing between you and God all the time, consistently, constantly, about doing things. You said something about doing things throughout the week.
Right.
It's not just about doing things throughout the week. It's who I am.
Right.
I am calm.
All right. And listen, that should make me take my outlook on what I do every day. I wake up and I'll be like, man, listen, I'm just here writing reports all day. I don't know why I'm writing these reports, but now I feel like I have a purpose.
You have
because those reports are probably supporting something else bigger. And like a lot of the times, and that's just one example of many, but you don't think about it like that all the time. As far as like your purpose and what you're doing is how it's affecting something
Other
larger.
people.
Everything you do.
Right, absolutely.
Everything you do.
No man is an island. Everything you do affects somebody around you. It's just like if for some reason I were to do something adverse or crazy or whatever, it affects my wife, it affects my kids, and everybody around me. It'll even affect my business and my business partner. So just having the mindset of being aware that what you do affects others and being sensitive to that fact is what we have. And a lot of times, a lot of people will say, well, I don't have, how do you find this purpose, or how do you find this? It's a God-given gift. Some people call it intuition. I just felt like, well, that's God. That's all.
You're just being honest, right?
Yeah.
Because it's funny you say that. As we were talking earlier, the situation with my transition, that was nothing but God. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you touched on that, because that's a huge part of where people are in the present, in the current. It's an act of God. It's an act of intuition.
It is.
It's never. I really don't feel like there's a, what's the word? There is a coincidence. It just happened. It just happened.
Right.
It's a little bit deeper than that. It's a reason why it happened.
It's a reason.
And then and of course we got to be real here. We know who's pulling the strings.
Right.
We know who's pulling the strings. So yeah, absolutely. So I guess, as far as how we can find the Center of Ministries, where we can find it, I know we're expecting to see it 1st of June. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, where can we find that?
It'll be at centerofministry.org, or you can go to iloveministry.org.
Okay. And as far as the applications, will everything be available to download? Is it iPhone friendly? Is it Android friendly?
It is. It
Okay.
is. From the Apple Store and Android Store, you can get the app. It'll be at COM.
I was going to say, because a lot of times they make these applications and I can't get it. And I'm like, well, why would you make an app if iPhones couldn't get the app? But yeah, absolutely. So with the application, with the website, we plan to do big things in the community. And if they want to follow up until the point of June 1st, how can we do that?
Go to hashtag I am calm.
Okay. So is the hashtag already trending and we already started making posts? Are we going to go forward with, with that like that?
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, there you have it. Lawan Washington, Charlotte Washington, and I'm Jay Taylor, of course. I am I am Jay Taylor, and I am calm. All right? So we'll be looking forward to seeing you. All right? Thank you. There it is.